Okay, we've been talking about David Grusch being hired on, and now the man that hired him on, Burlison, was asked directly about it, about why. Why did he bring on Grusch? What was the reason? NewsNation discussed it with him, had an interview with him. He tweeted it out today, the response himself. So Congress looking for answers on UFOs. So let's look at this interview that was conducted by NewsNation to Burlison, and we'll see what his comments are, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Here it is.
Congressman?
Yeah.
You made some headlines with the hire of David Grusch.
Yeah.
Why'd you do it? Why'd you feel the need to do it?
I think that just it's frustrating to me that we can't continue to just not really get any further. And so one of the things that was highlighted to me really is that, or obvious to me, is that we don't have somebody that's an expert in this field helping us navigate the intelligence community, navigate these, because the thing is, you don't know which questions to ask, right? And so how do you even determine where to go if you don't even have the first clue?
So how did the idea come about? Oh, well, Grusch says he knows some things. Let's bring him in.
Yeah. Well, first, just meeting him and having him come in for the first hearing, that was really, I thought that he was a very credible witness. Okay. And while I may not, I'm a skeptic. I may not agree that these are aliens from another planet. Okay. But I certainly do not doubt or discount his reputation. He is highly credible, highly respected, and he certainly was in the right roles. And so I think he was his credentials are amazing. Right. And just having him as an asset to be able to help us navigate and plan and coordinate what steps, where to go from here is really what I wanted to get accomplished.
So he's going to be is currently working for you, or will be?
April 1.
April 1, okay. So what are the things that he can do then that you can't necessarily believe that you could do right now?
Yeah, one is that, it's the amount of time. So getting him committed and on where he's able to provide counsel to me, he's putting together a plan that we'll be able to execute and then work alongside, really through my office, work to try to get some more information out through the committee staff and other things. But at the end of the day, he's working for my staff, and so that has to be kind of the parameters. He can't work for the committee. He's working for me.
So he's now going to be working for you. Obviously, one of the different dynamics here is this whole, the questions and the investigations and the hearings and all that started in the Biden administration, right? President Biden, the defense secretary was Lloyd Austin. It's obviously a much different time right now. Pete Hegseth is the defense secretary over at the Pentagon. Have you talked to the secretary about this? The Aero office is over there at the Pentagon. Have you talked to him yet about this? What about now in the new administration?
Well, I don't have a direct line with Pete. I'm going to try to get that connection.
But you see where I'm going, right?
Because what is good about Grusch is he does have direct connections with a lot of these individuals. And so he's got connections with Tulsi and a lot of other individuals that I think would be very valuable.
What about it now with President Trump in the White House? How does this change?
He's a disclosure president. He has clearly demonstrated that he wants to be transparent. He's already released more of the JFK files than anyone else has, and he's really pushing to release more, trying to release the Epstein list, trying to release the information that the American people deserve to know about UAPs.
So let me leave you with this. Do you think now that David Grusch is soon going to be on your staff here in a few days, that eventually, whether it be a few weeks, a few months, whatever it is, that there's going to be an aha moment? See, this is something we didn't know about. Do you think that's coming?
I do think that we're going to find out some more information. The question is, will we get to that point where it's definitive that this is, we determine what it is? That I can't answer for you.
And when you approached Grusch on this, what was his response?
He was very open to the idea. He really just wants to serve his country. If you look at his background, he's somebody that just loves this nation and wants to has a servant heart.
All right, we'll leave it there. Congressman Burlison, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, I've said this before about Burlison. It's like, I don't want to say he's a tricky dude, because he's pretty upfront with what he's saying, right? He said it in this interview. He said, I'm a skeptic. I don't necessarily think that it is aliens from another planet, another dimension. I don't know what it is, but I want to know answers. And it says a lot because he is bringing on the guy who said clear as day that he heard, or the witnesses that he spoke to said there were alien remains and non-human remains that were discovered. So he's bringing that guy on. What he emphasized is the credentials of David Grusch and the fact that he wanted to do this. It was also very interesting what he said, that he can't work with the committee. He's got to work with his office. I've said this many times over. Doesn't matter what the topic is. Every politician, their number one goal is, how is this going to help me further my career, help me get to my next election, help me get to a higher position in the government. That is what they do. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle they're on. That is their goal. So the most press Burlison has gotten that we've known about him, the stuff that has popped, is the UFO topic. So do I believe that he wants to get to the answers of this and he wants to know the truth and whatever Grusch can find him? Do I believe that he wants to know? Yes, I do. Do I believe that that is because he wants it just to get out to the American people? He's so passionate about the topic that American people have to know? No, of course not. He knows that this is the most spotlight that has been on him. And because of this topic, and he went out and reached out to Grusch. There's a reason why he's not going to be working with the task force, because if David Grusch asked the right questions, which everything he said was right, he'll ask the right questions. He has direct lines to people. He doesn't. It should show you kind of a little peek behind the curtain in how the government works. We all just think that everybody can talk to anybody. Everybody's part. Any Republican can talk to any Republican in any higher seat. It don't work like that. It's like any other business. It's like whatever level you're on. If you're at a higher level, talk to my assistant before I get to you. But Grusch has direct lines to people, right? That's beneficial to Burlison as well. It's beneficial to his office because and it's also why yesterday or the other day when we said that David Grusch is only on for a set amount of time on this with Burlison, because let's see what you can find. Let's see if there's anything. If there's some stuff and you start making some, heavy groundwork here, and then we're going to bring you on for about a year, bring you on for 2 years. We're going to bring you on for a while. We want you to stay with us. But let's test it out. Let's see what you get. Let's see how far you get. And if you like what you're doing here, if we like what you're doing, because the topic right now is not taboo where it's actually on the contrary. It's not taboo where it used to be. 10 years ago, you hear somebody's bringing on a UFO guy to find out what's going on with UFOs. That guy's not going to be in office for very long. Now, I want to get to the bottom of this. I want to see what it is. I'm telling you right now, I don't know what it is. I'm not necessarily gung-ho believing that it's this, but I believe this guy. I think he's very credible. I believe everything that he said about Grusch. I believe the answers of why he wants to bring him on, and Grusch is about as credible as you get, and one of the more credible witnesses maybe ever that we've ever seen in what he's done in the movement for it. So bringing him to Burlison's office and Burlison making that move is a very smart idea, because if Grusch discovers and can get to places, because he now has different kind of access than he had before, because he's in Burlison's office and he's able to get to places, and Burlison is the guy that discovers something while Grusch is with him, well, who's going to get the props for that? Burlison. Of course he is. And so it makes a lot of sense for him to say, okay, look, if we can this guy actually can do some stuff. And some of the things that he knows, he can actually get us closer. He's not going to be working with Luna. He ain't working with Burchett. He's working with us. We got him. We hired him. We brought him on. Because I was going to ask, why didn't Burchett bring him on? Why didn't Luna bring him on? And maybe they couldn't afford him. Maybe he made a bigger offer. This is a business as much as anything else. Maybe he made a bigger offer, and he's working with them now, working with Grusch. And so the reporter even asked, well, what about Trump? And he said, well, Trump's a disclosure president. He's this, he's that. I am still not convinced on that, because I was curious about it when that's what was being said. It was like, look, all cards out there. Here it is. This is what we got. I'm going to show you. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. If it's out there, we're going to tell you about it. And then the drones, we were completely lied to. There's no way anyone can defend that and say it wasn't a lie. It was an outright lie that they said, well, it was indeed the FAA who was doing experiments. Everyone said it wasn't the FAA. And then no one's followed up at any press conference. No one's followed up at all. They said it wasn't. No one said that. And so you can tell me all day long that you're going to do this, you're going to do that. I want to see it. And like he said, look, there was a lot of files with the JFK stuff that was released, a lot of stuff that wasn't. And that is ultimately my biggest fear with anyone involved in the government. Because he says this, Burlison, in the beginning of this interview, he's like, the fact that we haven't gotten any far is frustrating. It's really frustrating. When you think about all the assets that the government actually has, what they have, what they can do, yet you got to jump through hoops in order to find out anything. He's like, I don't know who to ask. I don't know what to ask. That's crazy. These are supposed to be the top people in the U.S. working in the government. They should know everything or where to go. Hey, we need to call this person, we need this, and this. They're running around in circles because they don't have anybody who has the expertise. Now, why Grusch wasn't brought on sooner, maybe there's a lot of red tape behind it. I don't know. But the one side of it is beneficial. It makes sense. It's smart. It could lead to some big things happening. But I just say, like always, you don't ever trust politicians, no matter what. You just can't. The number one goal is always monetize, up my career. That's always the number one goal for these politicians. Doesn't matter what they're trying to do, no matter how just the cause is, their number one priority is how does it benefit me? Always. Again, doesn't matter what side of the aisle. That is the goal. How do I stay in my position? How do I get to a higher position? And what can I do? Burlison believes this is his road. He very well, I think this is one of the things I do like about him is that he doesn't just come from one spot. He actually comes from the spot, as he said, as he's a skeptic, but he's not one of these skeptics that tries to make people look stupid. I don't believe in those people. I think those people are just as kooky as anybody else who is just blindly saying that's exactly what it is. I know what that is. It's this from this planet and this and this. You don't necessarily know that. In the same way that you don't necessarily know what it isn't. And there are a lot of skeptics out there that just like to poke fun at people, try to do the gotcha moments and things like that. And no matter what you tell them, they're going to say, there's no way, this person's nuts, Grusch is a hack, Lou Elizondo's a hack, this guy's crazy. You can't take those people serious. You can take a guy like this serious because he says straight out, I don't think he said it. He doesn't believe it's anything from outer space or aliens or anything like that. But he wants to know what it is. He wants to see if that is indeed the case. Then let's do an investigation. He's bringing on the guy who has talked many times that we have discovered non-human stuff, and he's working in his office. So that to me is someone, hey, look, you got to convince me. I'm bringing you on. I'm giving you a position. I'm paying you salary. I'm giving you benefits. Convince me. Go down this path. Who do we call? What do we do? Let's get it done. Prove to me. Because if it happens in my office, if my office actually proves that there is non-human intelligence and we get that to the president and it comes from my office, the investigations we did, everybody's going to be talking about Burlison. That's how it works, kids. So what do you think about this? You think this makes sense? Does it not make sense? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. Thank you for supporting the channel. I always appreciate that. We got a lot of great comments on here every single day. If you want to support the channel, you can do that by becoming a member. You do that. You can click like, comment. I tell you to get stuff for yourself. Brunt, workwear. I've been wearing the hat. I love the hat. But I also have been wearing the boots. The boots are super comfortable. I'll tell you about them, and then we'll talk about some more stuff tomorrow. All right, let's get out of here. It's been cold in New York, and it's rainy, and moving from California to New York, you got to deal with that weather change. And thank God I have better boots now. I had crap boots. It was the worst because it was just hurting my feet all day long. They were getting wet. It wasn't the best. So what I love now is I have these Brunt work boots. They sent them to me, and my God, they're really, really comfortable. I couldn't believe how they were so comfortable right out of the box. Normally you got to break them in a little bit. I just feel like it didn't take that long to break in. I was walking down the block with them. I was like, they just fit on really easily. I was surprised because normally it takes me a little bit. And these, not so much. Really comfortable. They also deliver on protection and durability, which is really great. So take a look at these. Those are the ones I got right there. They're black, nice. They're amazing. Lightweight, waterproof, they're slip and oil resistant, they're heat resistant, electrical, hazard rated. It's great. You're going to love them. So you can finally have durable work boots that are comfortable as your sneakers. You got to join over 500,000 other customers. That's right. Brunt lets you try the boots on the job risk-free, and all the products have free shipping. It's not just about work boots. They offer a full range of high-performance gear built for tough jobs. From heavy-duty work pants to weather-resistant jackets, Brunt designs durable, reliable workwear to keep you protected and productive in any condition. They sent me this black hat. I wear it all the time, whether it's at the gym, whether I'm going to a movie premiere, whatever it might be, I am wearing this hat. Brunt didn't just make a durable work boot, they reinvented comfort for the hardest workers out there. Now, for a limited time, our listeners get $10 off at Brunt. You got to use that code DTE at checkout. Head on over to bruntworkwear.com. Use that code DTE. You're all set. Even better, Brunt lets you try all their products on the job risk-free. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. You got to support our show and tell them that our show sent you. Brunt.